You doing an intro, Tim?
Good evening, world, from sunny Scotland tonight. This is the new edition of Life is People podcast. I just want to say hello to Rich, my fellow friend. How you doing, Rich?
Hey.
And Ryan. How you doing, Ryan?
Doing good, doing good.
And Cy and Dan. How you doing, boys?
Hey, mate.
Good evening, yo.
Hello.
Cool. Well, as some of you may have realised, we've renamed the podcast "Life Is People," which I'm sure we're going to talk about later on. David has other obligations, so hopefully one day he may come back or he may not. So from now on, it's just me flying solo. Yeah, the intro's going, my friend. This is it, really. Can people hear me?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Everyone, I can hear you.
Life is people, mate. Life.
Cool.
Life is
I'm
people.
getting really bad feedback. So, if you continue talking, this mate out, it's got technical issues.
That's right, mate. Like, yeah. It's a cracking name. Life is people.
Well, no, mate, but no, we watched your film.
Bad ideas.
Bad Ideas.
We watched it last
You
week,
saw
yeah.
you
Yeah,
watched Bad Ideas. Oh God.
Yes, mate.
Yes, mate.
Mate, it was fucking brilliant.
It was
mate.
great. It was really great.
Spun my head out like.
Oh,
but
it definitely got me a bit fucking
thinking,
man. It got me
that's it,
thinking,
right?
like, yeah.
But it's a fucking great movie, mate.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, thank you. That's, you know, I want people to think, and you know, it was. I tried to put as much of my nightmare into, you know, the whole movie as in general, because I wanted everyone to see the nightmare, and I guess I kind of did that. So.
yeah, no, it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, mate.
Absolutely brilliant.
I love the bartender was an interesting character. Man.
Yeah, it was great.
Very
It was
interesting.
great.
I loved him, and also the was it the architect?
The Alchemist.
Oh, sorry,
The Alchemist.
Alchemist, sorry, yes.
The Alchemist, man. Like, yeah, he was right.
He was scary. He was scary.
He was freaky, wasn't he? Like, it was great.
I think too often they give, you know, a main bad character all the power and the wisdom, and I split it up this time and said, you know, one of them's got the strength and one of them's got the wisdom, and they obviously don't work together. So.
Yeah, man. Very fun, man.
But yeah, it was great. I liked this, like the soundtrack. You did all the soundtrack yourself, didn't you, Ryan? Or
Oh yeah, the soundtrack was. I've been making music since I was like 15, 16, and I'm 29 now, so that's like 13, 14 years, and I have so many of them saved. I can remember from at least 10 years ago. I have some stuff saved, and I have this huge backlog of stuff that I can constantly go back to and look at and see if there's, you know, a riff, a note, a melody. I'm sure, you know, musically you guys, I'm sure, understand, you know, how just important, you know, that one click or whistle, you know, can be.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, doing this, and in the soundtrack especially, you hear like there's so many different sounds. I never went to the same song twice, and I don't think any song played for more than, you know, a couple minutes. And yeah, so a lot of time, you know, over the span of me making music, and a lot of, you know, just mixing that down and trying to capture the emotion and all that.
You can see, you know, the blood, sweat, and tears that have gone into that piece of work, particularly like with yourself doing, not just like obviously shooting it and that, and the script and the music and fucking everything, man. It's it's a phenomenal piece of work, mate. You should be very proud of it, mate. Definitely.
Yeah, it was. I mean, some of the stuff was just. I knew nothing about like technique, but at the same time, I knew it was all a matter of what you show people. And so, like the scene where my main character, the stranger, is talking with the alchemist, who I actually also played the alchemist. There was only one shot, I think, with the two of them in it.
Right.
And you know, I think I shot all of that stuff by myself too as well. So I was shooting the scenes, sometimes, I dress up, go to the other side of the table, do the scene again, go home, do the editing. Yeah, it was ridiculous, I guess is the word you could say. I want to say another
but it was
word, but
insane, like, getting
but I
into
mean,
the,
you guys.
sorry.
What's that? Well, I was just gonna say, you guys.
Like the,
Well, the lag, but I'll finish real quick. I was just gonna say that you guys know more than anything that, like, if you have something to say, you're gonna go out and say it no matter what. And it doesn't matter if you have to do it alone. It doesn't matter if you have to do it with a million people. You're gonna go out and you're gonna do it. You're gonna say it. It's just how it is.
damn right, mate. Damn right.
So, I was asked a question for you and Saidan. This is a particular question I was asked this week. So while I'm here, I want to pass this on. Someone asked me, what was your definition of a demon?
What's my definition of a demon?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's just
many, mate. There's many definitions of a demon.
Yeah, true. Many definitions. I don't know, like fucking. It's all the things that I don't know. Like, it's all like the monsters and the sort of these sort of feelings and emotions in your life which can plague you. You know what I mean? Mental health. Mental health is a demon. If you're a depressed person, depression, that's a demon. If you're an alcoholic, drinking, that's a demon. If you
it's the things that can hold you back, the negativity. It also, on the flip to that, demons fucking give you something to fucking strive, something to beat, something. When you're working your ass off, you're working like a demon. You know what I mean? Like many meanings behind demon, I think.
I think it's one of the things that I think all creative people have a kind of a collective understanding of what these demons are. I mean, I think it's one of the lyrics that I want to talk to you about was from the dark. It's from German, and it's when you say the line that empathy is the foundation, and I think it is the foundation to what we're talking about. Do you know what I mean? That is the lack of empathy is where the demons come from. Would you concur with that, or Ryan? Anybody?
I wouldn't say a lack of empathy. I mean, to me, I think there is a struggle within every single person. I think we are all universal in that, and to me, a demon, to speak negatively, would be the lurking, just something that's, you don't expect it. You don't want to feel a certain way. People don't want to feel bad. People don't want to feel negative. We all want to go out, be positive, do positive things, be beautiful people. But at the same time, so often there is just this lurking feeling, and there's something around the corner that's just waiting to change your perspective for that moment. To all of a sudden, you're going around your day, you're happy, you're fine, and then next thing you know, something happens, and it's that demon that maybe that part of the ego or something that just completely flips you around for that moment, and you have to somehow get around it, somehow avoid it, somehow fight it if you can, or whatever. But like the demons were saying, it is a positive thing too, where it gives you something to fight for. And I think in fighting your own demons and being able to express that, you're helping other people fight their demons, and you're just letting everyone know that we are a cohesive, part of the world. We are universal in our struggle, and to me, I think that would be it. And I don't necessarily think it has anything per se to do with empathy, but at the same time, I would say there is quite a lack of empathy in the world. But
you're right. I mean, if you want one of the most humbling things in the world, just go up and just go outside your house tonight when the stars come up, sit and look up to the stars and think, man, we're just fleas on the back of a rock tumbling through space. And that's it's gone from, do you know what I mean? If you think about it, how long ago was it that, you know, we were just tied by, oh, them other side of the other hill, they're the enemy. And then, so we kind of got a blood tie. And then that went to, oh, okay, we understood agriculture. And then we kind of understood we could expand our space and our time. And then it almost became religious and tribal tribes. And then came along the nation state and gave you this fiction about, you know, you live in X country, Y country, or whatever. Isn't the point of being what we're all trying to strive towards, that we all know that we're all on this rock? And if we could get to that point of view, then we can start. That is the conquering of the demons, isn't it? That's the understanding, like Ryan was just saying. We're all collectively on this same experience. We're all on different journeys, but we're all on the same rock, aren't we? That's what ties us all together. And it's the people, I feel, who are against that, you know, that's the raising of the demon element.
I mean, I would go, yeah, that's exactly how I feel, especially with what I was saying, like the first interview we had where I had mentioned, you know, a term that I like to use, which is grassroots humanism. And I think that's what it is. You live, you know, we live on that rock. We're floating on that rock. Everything outside of that rock is our own, you know, collusive, cohesive madness, that we all believe in these politics. We all believe in these things that are just so beyond ourselves that if we were to try to explain to other people what's going on, we get just confused and frustrated, and you cannot, you know, it's so hard to sum up, you know, feelings these days. It's madness, and you have to get back. I think you have to get back to that, you know, fact that we live on a rock. We are, you know, human at our basic instinct.
Well, yeah, I mean, and even at a base level, I mean, it's just like, particularly the boys, I mean, we're all kind of understand this completely, is that basically empathy stems from the point of view of we're all going to die. And if you realise that, you realise how fragile life is, and that's what, like they were saying, that's what makes you push and want to expand yourself, because you know how fragile this life is. I mean, man, I mean, the whole of the demons, your whole experience of what you are as a band is based around that very fact.
Yeah, man, for certain. That's it. The only certainty in life is death. That's the truth. That's the truth, though, man. So that time in between, it is fragile. I agree with you, mate. And empathy is the key. You know, like there's a lot of fucking dark things that happen in the world, man. That lack empathy, totally, in my opinion. And yeah, like our music's really around that sort of. We talk about those sort of things, man.
Well, yeah. Go on.
Well, do you mind if I ask a question? What?
Yeah, it's good.
When you guys came with the, you know, the idea of your image or the idea of your group, like, one of the things that so intrigued me about it was there was no ego to the group. There was no, you know, individual raised, you know, sort of level of status or cool or, you know, anything like that. And I was just kind of wondering, like when did that sort of idea hit you, or when did that come to you that you didn't want to be, you know, because it just seems to me that you're more about the music, you're more about the people than you are about being ceiling, Dan Demon.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
definitely, mate. I mean, it's just trying to we're all the fucking same, basically, and like we do have our roles within the group and that. So we've got our own sort of forte, if you will, and you know, but how we like sort of present it and that is like we want it to be, we want it to sort of be equality. We want it to resonate, and we want it to relate to people as well. I mean, we are masked in most of our imagery that we've put out, and there's sort of a point to that as well. Though, like when we play live, we're unmasked, and part of our performance is taking that mask off. Yeah.
Which is a very powerful element of the show. I mean, as you know, boys. I mean, that whole the visual view putting off the mask is a very strong. I mean, we've talked about it before. You know, whether sound and vision are very much hand in hand. And that is one of the I love from a fan point of view or a supporter's point of view. And just in the state, you know, watching you pull that mask off, it's a really powerful moment because of what you just said.
Nice one, man. Yeah, I think it's because we didn't start doing that at first. It was a few gigs down the line when we started doing that, but I think what we had to embrace was the imagery we'd been putting into our videos and stuff like that. We need to have that when we're playing live. So it was important to us. So when we've got Beat Demon, who's masked up for most of it, and our double bass player Will, he's in the mask as well. So that imagery and hooded up, so that imagery is ever present there. But me and Dan take them off, and like that's like I said, it's a powerful thing, man. It's we all wear these masks and that, man. You know what I mean? So that's it.
Well, it's that stripping of ego like Ryan was talking about. I mean, I want to share this story. It was Lord that got me into You Boys, which you both know, and I've played that tune countless times over the last year. And
Oh yeah.
I'll share a story, but this week I played it again, and although I'd heard it countless times, this time when I played it, it's because of where my mind was at the time. Tears are just streaming out of my eyes, and I thought, that's the power of what you do, because it's like we all do when we're creative. When we do it, we leave it alone when we walk away, and you tend to forget sometimes. I know I do that sometimes the resonances that are left in the things you walk away have so much power that are going to go through time. And do you know what I mean? And it was so true of Lord I Could Be Strong Now, because the words in it and everything, it just suddenly made me hit a resonance inside of me. And it's always those difficult things. And I know it's what Ryan got into about it. What I loved about it was originally was like what Ryan was saying, was the whole idea of just seeing you guys in these masks and no ego involved. And it was so hard hitting for that reason. I don't know if it was the same with Ryan. Was that the same sort of thing with you, Ryan?
Well, with me and the masks, and if I just played it on mute and saw it with the masks, I would have thought, cool imagery, whatever, it's not a big deal. But then I hear the lyrics, and it was just like, it was so much like what I believe in and what I try to do, the things I do, where I don't really care if my name is on it. I don't care if my name is attached to it, Yeah. That's not why I did it. I didn't, So in seeing you guys wear the masks and then hearing what you had to say, it was almost like the same thing, where it was like, you don't need to know on a name basis. You don't need to know personally, but you need to know that there are people out there that feel that way, and there are people that have something to say like that. And to completely kind of like take yourself, out of the picture in that frame is just, it's beautiful. It's amazing. And so many people don't understand that it's not always about the recognition. It's not always about, being like, oh, that was Dan Demon Inside Ceiling. Like, if a song's good and it touches you in your heart, nobody really cares who did it, because I can go sing it in my bathroom. I can sing it for you while I'm driving, It's it's those lyrics in that moment, and that's what really life is. People, the lyrics to that moment. That's what.
It's just connecting with people, and it's just putting your, you put your heart and soul into something, and you make a piece of artwork, and this is what I've got to say. This piece of art is an expression, and if that connects with people, whether it's through seeing the imagery or hearing the words or whatever, that's sort of the beauty of it all.
Yeah,
like,
it's very touching what you have to say, like, and
very grateful for
Oh,
it's like Tim says, it's seeds, planting seeds, man. You know what I mean? Seeds sown.
oh yeah. You guys, I don't know if anybody knows this, but you guys got me on here the first time, and hearing my name, anywhere outside, and people don't even know my name in my community. Hearing my name overseas is like, wow, somebody's talking about me? Like, you fucking kidding me? Oh my God, that is amazing. I've sold like $3 on Bandcamp, and I got one fan letter from a woman in Germany, and that's the extent of my recognition over here. But her email, one email from Germany, I think her name was Claudia, and that email, which was just like, hey, I found you on Bandcamp, I love what you're doing, like, what else do you have going on, like, that one thing alone was, oh my god, that was amazing. And yeah, I saw you guys on Twitter, that's where I found you, and yeah, it blew my mind to see that you were coming out just at the same time I was. You had been saying, you were saying things that I tried to say when I was about 18, 19. Have you guys heard of a group called the High and Mighty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually, I was on a CD with Mr. Eon from the High and Mighty.
Wow.
He came to Toledo, and I was able to be on an entire CD with him.
That's brilliant.
And
that's fucking awesome.
And that was when I was around, I think 20 or 21, and after that, like, I wasn't saying what I wanted to say on record. I couldn't do it. It wasn't coming out the way I wanted it to, and somehow through experimenting with drugs and lots of other things, a movie came out of it, and I suddenly just figured I had to say something through film, and I figured out how to do that. And I never gave up rapping. Rapping never, that never leaves you. You keep doing that. And so yeah, when I see you guys now, I'm like, man, that's exactly where I left off when I couldn't figure out what I wanted to say, and they're saying all of it. And every time I hear a new song from you, it's better and better, and it's deeper and deeper, and it's, oh man, it's so great to see a group like you guys out there. There's very few of you, and I hear them all.
Thank you for the love, man.
Yeah, I mean, this is why the Network 99 is good, because it's like to link people together, like the creatives, like getting different people on here, different bands and stuff like that, and it's all about that connection, man, making that connection, weaving that web.
It is, because it's kind of, do you know what I mean? It's going back to what we were saying before about empathy. That we've got two choices. We can either repress this or we can release it.
Yeah.
And if we repress this, we know the results. Man, I heard a stat. I'm going to ask you all this. I read a stat the other day, right? Give me an answer to it. In the 20th century, how many people, innocent people, do you think the governments in total in 1 century have killed?
What kind of question is that? How am I supposed to guess that number?
Have a guess, man. Have a guess.
It's dark, mate. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, that's not like it's not like asking, pick a number between 1 and 10.
Okay, it was 262 million people, and that's what we're talking about. If we repress this creative spirit, because that is what happens. They quite happily let you watch, American, X Factor and shit. Man, it's what we're doing here is fundamental, man. That's why I'm so strong on it, because it was like when I heard the Demons for the first time. It was like, wow, here's a band actually saying. And standing up and actually saying what it's like and being raw. You know what I mean? I want to quote to you boys this lyrics, from the Dark Woodman, which how much I love that track, right? And this kind of sums up where I think when I remember when I first heard these lyrics, I thought, man, this is it. You summed it all up. It says, so it's head towards it, always cautious. 2 steps backwards, 1 step forward. The ground is flawless. My eyes are enormous. I stand for all the people who know how raw that is.
Yes, mate. That's the one.
That's it.
And boom! That's it. You don't need to say any more.
Mic drop. Plop.
Slaying it, man. Slaying it. That's it, man. That's it.
That kills it, man.
That's summing up the suppression, mate. That's what it is there.
I mean, what's great is I love you. When I see your guys' videos, there's always the lyrics. That is.
Yeah, you've got to write them down, man, so people know what you're saying exactly. Like, if they want to hear, I mean, you might not quite get someone's accent or exactly what they've said or something like that. I always love having the lyrics there to read. That's why I used to love buying albums, man, like physical.
That's why I had to have my Ceiling Demons copy.
Yeah. So you get the
And with
lyrics.
Tim's artwork, you know.
Yeah, the artwork, man. Like, yeah, that physical thing, man. Damn right, man.
Well, that's what kind of brought us together, because it was what I always used to love myself, was buying vinyl albums and having all the the lyrics written out, and it was a piece of something. It was like when Dan came on from Emerald's Transmission. I love the fact he's doing vinyl.
Yeah,
This is, and this is what I love about. I mean, man, this is why where we were at. I remember when I first tried to connect to you boys, it was kind of like I saw so much visual in what you're doing. I thought, this is, as we've talked about, it's one of those things I think is a lost art of bands and artists and other people all kind of building around the same thing. It used to be kind of a thing I used to like, and it's disappeared now. And I think that's one of the things you're vanguarding a new wave of this connection between people. As we're back to show with the remix of the song, as we could talk about as well, because that's bringing somebody else in who we just expanding. Who would have thought? I said to you boys the other day, 18 months ago, we didn't even knew each other, none of us were. And now look at us.
I remember when we first seen you, Tim, at that gig in Leeds, and we just speaking about it. You saying, oh, you seen it in the Yorkshire Evening Post and that and stuff, and we just got talking. And you just felt a connection straight away. I was like, I think I said to you something like, that's fifth dimensional shit, mate. That's 5D, man. It's like the awakening of the new world, mate. And it's like, it's how you gaffer. You gaffer together, man. You're meeting like-minded people, and I mean, you randomly saw that video on the website, and you come and met us at a gig, and I mean, we're sat here now. That's the webs for weave.
Well, it is, because it's like I've always said, this is the great thing about what we are as creative people. I'm always, every tune you lay on me, I'm like, oh man, that's another benchmark I've got to get higher. But that's what I love. I love it. It makes me, it sparks the creative inside me. I don't know if it's the same as you, but I'm sure it will be.
Flower and thrive, mate. It's watering these seeds. It's flowering and thriving, mate. Every droplet, every droplet. That's every ray of sunlight, whatever. You need these things to grow, and you bounce off people's things. You bounce off people's work. You you have your own inspirations, and you can take inspiration from anything in this world. And it's just how you use it, and that's how you create your art.
Yeah, somebody actually said to me not that long ago that I was a very life or death person. That I was very And I really am. I mean, if you're in, I think I said this to Tim. I was like, if you're not, sinking or swimming, or sinking or floating, what are you doing? You're just swimming around. There's, everything, like you just said, everything is inspiration to me, and something inside of me, if something happens to me someday, I can't even, give you a situation, but if something were to happen, on a very minuscule type manner, it might click in my head, and I might start thinking of something. Part of me might die. I might go into, I might totally lose one of my ideals and my beliefs, and I might just totally let go and, become some new person. And there is inspiration everywhere, and you can do anything. Anybody can do anything. You have, we're at the means now where you have the technology. It's all cheap. You have the means to, get people to see it. You have the means to do anything, and inspiration is everywhere. And so many people don't, realize that, you really should be affected by all of the information and technology that is, pouring into your brain constantly. Like, you should be affected by that, I guess is what I'm saying.
But yeah, because if not, that's what I'm saying. For people who don't do that, it's like, do you realize how fragile your life is and how little time we have? To not use everything, it's kind of like, to me, is a waste.
And I think to hold on to, if you want to, good, pure, grassroots humanism, love and affection and emotion and respect and learning, like, those are things I can hold on to. But like, certain ideals and beliefs that I have about, whatever the mainstream is or whatever, politics are going on, like, for me to really hardcore hold on to those idealisms, for long periods of time, life is fragile. Life is too short. respect and love. After that, anything can change.
Definitely, mate. You never know what's gonna happen tomorrow, man. You never know.
Never know. You never know.
Yeah, so you have to live in the moment, man. You got to live in the moment, and you know, if you're the creative type and that, you're making something which, well, gonna last longer than you, hopefully. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's good to it's good to put that feeling that into things. You know what I mean? And that sparks feelings in others and stuff. Man, yeah.
Yeah,
Fragile.
yeah, because I mean, do you know what I mean? We all do what we do. We do it not for money. We don't do it for fame. We don't do it for adulation. We do what we do just because we love doing what we do. And I was watching, and I think I sent you boys the link to Jimmy Smith live, and it sort of hit my head the other day that I was watching Dizzy Gillespie, Jimmy Smith, who's some of the greatest musicians ever. And they're playing some working men's club in Leeds or something, and it's like at the time people would be queuing around the block to watch, I don't know, some Frank Sinatra bollocks. You know what I mean? And you think, man, do you know the problem with what humans have is that they miss what's going on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They miss it. They miss, at the time they were too busy worrying about Marilyn Monroe and not realizing that Jimmy Smith and Dizzy Gillespie are playing in the same band.
Yeah.
And I think it's like we were just saying, we've all got to be aware in some ways that we're going to be judged by 20 years down the line, and people will go, and what, you didn't see the Seven Demons live, and you didn't see Bad Ideas, and you didn't know about this. You know what I mean? That's
look at the mainstream in general as far as what you get, in some sort of Rolling Stone special, like the 100 greatest rock albums of all time. Like, are you really gonna tell me of all time you're gonna pick 100 fucking albums? Like, really? Like, and then they all pick the same. They all pick the same thing. It's this very safe, like, thing of that everybody knows. One of the things that gets me is this is a music type podcast. Like, I've done so much research in being a musician and being a producer and trying to learn all the different styles of music. And being in America, we have a few radio stations here. They play classic American rock, and you hear bands like Led Zeppelin or maybe the Rolling Stones or I'm not classic American rock, but just classic rock in general, and bands like that. And then I hear some of the in my research of going through older bands and listening to older music, you hear a lot of really avant-garde progressive rock bands that come from Europe. And there was this one band called I'd hate to mispronounce it, but it was Artie and Mesmerity, and it was Arti. I remember it was how you spelled the first name. And the drummer and it was some random psychedelic group from the 60s. The drummer they had was the most amazing drummer I've ever heard. I've never heard any sort of drumming like that. I showed one of my friends who loves classic rock, and he was blown away by it. Could not believe it. This guy was throwing fills and thirds and everything just wherever for the fuck of it. He'd be playing a song and just be, he'd be playing a slow song and just be playing fast on the drums for absolutely no reason. And nobody in America has ever even heard of that band. But at the same time, the same band, the same top 100 bands getting play over and over and over again. The same, I was just telling somebody today, like, you go to somebody who likes rap music, they're going to tell you maybe 15 rappers that they've heard about nowadays. And that's 15 out of, I listen to rappers from all over the world. People, I don't understand them because I don't speak their language, but I will still listen to it, and I will still pick up on what they're trying to get across. And it's not the same 15 bands. There aren't just 100 bands. There are millions and millions, and everybody's out there. And one person can make one album and never do it again just because they're disenchanted. And that one album could still, touch me in a way that, no mainstream artist could ever even attempt to. But
there's so many gems out there, mate, like that are unheard. These are unheard, just treasure, man. I'm sure.
And but what sucks is having to try and find that is to almost have to go back in time and keep looking for older stuff. When I saw the Ceiling Demons, I was like, man, I can actually like a new group that came out in 2013, 2014. I can hear. Thank you, Tim. I'm glad I'm not alone. Like, I can, I could, I could actually like follow Ceiling Demons and be like, oh my god, there's a new fucking group out that I actually want to hear and follow and get excited for new music. Just like, it's been so many years since I've, I can't even tell you when the last time, waiting to hear new music. And then Tim sent me that remix you guys did in the video that you're trying to put together, and oh my god, I was like, man, that's fucking awesome. And I love that song to begin with. Every step is bringing me up as one of probably, I don't want to say it's my favorite, but it probably is my favorite Ceiling Demon song. But I constantly go back and listen to it, and then I get the lyrics right there on YouTube, and I post those on my personal page. I post those on my Bad Ideas page. Awesome. I love you guys. I really do. I wanted to do the fan art that I did for you just because it meant a lot to me. And
no, that honestly was awesome, mate. Like honestly. I mean, you're really prolific, mate. Like the way that you put things out, man. Like fucking, I remember just reading like some of your poetry, and you'd always have an image with it and stuff, and like, yeah, just like brilliant. Just like,
yeah, man. That's what I'm looking for because we got your email just before. Looking forward to see what.
Try to work on this video because it'd be
see what your
it'd be brilliant
ideas on this video. Like,
all I can say is the pictures that I'm getting in my head are pretty wicked. And
I like the sound of it already, mate.
Yeah, man.
But you guys already had it to begin with. I mean, from what you showed me, images of the fire dancing and that the way it was shot was already really cool. And one of the things I was saying to Tim was I think about like 2.5 minutes into it. Was one of the parts where it just like it really took off and it really clicked, and I was like, man, that part is really fucking cool. There was all the the fire was spinning around in all the different ways, and yeah, hopefully I know you said you wanted you gave me a date of when you wanted to try to get it out. I'm gonna push balls to try and get some people together to help me film something in according to what you were trying to do with the fire dance.
Did you see some of the other because I sent you across a load of like outtakes like from like the Lord Must Be Strong video. Did you get a chance to see any of them?
Oh man, we got such a shit internet connection in America. I'm gonna have to download it on this computer that I'm actually on now, which is very slow, but it's the only one that's probably going to be able to download it. But no, I did try to, because I'm extremely fast in what I do, and I get very into things very quickly. And
right. It's just because some of them, some of the videos that I sent across as well, like they were like outtakes from the Lord Must Be Strong video, and I just thought it might be good just to have some of them images in there because it's also with the masks on and stuff like that, and it's like new footage which we haven't put out before. But if you can,
it'd be good just to get your thoughts,
it'll just be good to get your thoughts and stuff like that, man. And we'll bounce across some ideas, and it sounds like you've got a good vision for it as well, man. So yeah, man.
I've seen the Lord I Must Be Strong Now video, so many times, and I can only imagine, how cool these outtakes are going to be. And I'm somebody who. I really hate to waste footage. If there's something that I think looks, I swear I hate.
Chime in real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're talking about you hate to waste footage, and I think that's a really important point. When you talk about all the footage we get as filmmakers, it just sits on a hard drive and nobody ever sees it again. I think that's a really important thing we can start doing as part of Network 99 is compiling all the footage that people who are involved in Network 99 can upload footage to until it's a operating program. For the time being, we can upload it to something like a Dropbox or something similar, just so we can start compiling a library of footage that we can all tap into and start to use.
That's a brilliant idea.
Oh yeah, and it made me think. The other day I was taking some video of a fire out in my backyard, and it was just I did slow motion of the flames, and I did it from different angles, so it can be compiled to where all the flames slow motion coming in from every angle. So it made me think of that. We need for the time being, choose on a place to store that information, and you're welcome to have at it. Use that footage any way you see fit.
So that's fantastic. That's a brilliant idea as well, Rich.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Dropbox is you can do those things on there, I believe.
Yeah, until Network 99 is full up and running, these are the ideas that we can build on, and some of the concepts that we can start putting into actually doing now. So, yeah. One of the things that crossed my mind earlier when you all were talking about doing something that resonates with people. Have you ever heard of morphic resonance?
Yeah.
Sure.
Have you heard of it? Yeah. Did you watch that Joe Rogan show with Rupert? Yeah. There's a scientist in England, and he was talking about morphic resonance. And what the basic idea here is it's basically been verified through plenty of scientific experiments. And the idea is that something intense that you go through right now, or even that your grandfather went through, or grandmother, well, that sends out what he referred to as a morphic resonance, which people who are closely aligned with that person, either socially or genetically, will be affected through space and time by an intense experience. And it made me think of demons, because what is a demon? A demon is fear. And well, what do we fear? We don't know why we fear something sometimes. It makes no sense at all. But this scientific experiment that this guy Rupert has been working on with morphic resonance, it would seem to indicate that our fears are based on an intense experience that somebody close to us may have had, either genetically close to us or socially close to us, through space and time, believe it or not. And so it's a very bizarre idea, and it's worth looking into. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so, that sounds phenomenal, mate.
Let me get that guy's name. So, Rupert. Yeah. Let me look it up.
I mean, it's. I mean, they just found out recently that they've actually proven for the first time that humans can transfer thought process instantly to each other as well, which is all part of this morphic resonance. All it is we're getting to a conversation about consciousness. I mean, which ties into what Ryan talked about. Because none of us really know. We tap into this element, don't we? We don't really know what consciousness is. But all we're realising is that the more we are related. It's exactly what we're saying with the boys. When I first heard your tunes, when I saw Ryan's film, I was like, I get it. It's the same. It's that we are all kind of connected in some sort of random way.
Well, to kind of go in on that, one of the things Rich brought up actually during my last podcast was the Akashic Records, and I didn't actually hear him because of the lag, but yeah, that is like that is the surrounding of bad ideas, and where everything takes place is this sort of realm where there is things going on, and beyond our comprehension, and it is almost kind of like this social, it's like this place that we are all connected to, but not all of us know how to reach it.
And again, going back to ego, the one person that we know was able to tap into the Akashic Records in the last 100 years was, help me out with his name. He was, let me look him up. Anyway, point being is that he had to completely let go of his ego, and if he had any ego involved at all, he couldn't enter that realm. It's called the Sleeping Prophet, and I'm trying to remember his name right now. Let me look him up.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, a place like that would be almost a world of knowledge, a life of knowledge, and if you have just facts, just knowledge, just truth, you almost have to have no ego, and you can't really have memories or experiences. You can almost just float without any sort of opinion or ego, as you were saying.
Right. His name was Edgar Casey. Have you heard of him?
I haven't.
Edgar Casey.
I haven't.
There's actually a great History Channel documentary on him, and they refer to him as the Sleeping Prophet, and he would go into a trance-like state on a couch, and you could ask him any question. It didn't matter what it was, and he would have an answer for you that was extremely accurate and, in a lot of cases, scientifically accurate. Even though he wasn't a scientist, he would say things that only a scientist would know. And it was very bizarre, and people started to abuse this power he had, and they would ask him, well, what stocks should I buy, during his Sleeping Prophet episodes. And whenever people started to abuse his power, he would find out that he'd be sick later when people started to abuse it. But he would still do it for people. Like in one case, there was a lady whose son was blinded by a chemical, and she came to him asking for help, and he gave her a method, basically some type of concoction she could make in order to apply it to her son's eyes, and sure enough, it helped his eyes. So anyway, check him out. That's another great person to look into, Edgar Cayce, along with the Rupert Sheldrake, who's studying the morphic resonance idea.
Right, mate. Yeah, that sounds really fascinating, that, mate.
I mean, but that's the very essence of what you know when you tap into psychedelics or into nature of any kind. It strips away all your ego completely. I mean, whatever level you want to go on to, from alcohol, right?
During the process of coming up with bad ideas, I did not experience or experiment with any hallucinogens or any drugs of any kind. I just want to put that out Let me restate that fact. I was not on a drug.
But it's that very stripping of ego is the very essence of what that teaches you. I mean, I think that's more, like, maybe it's why shaman have always worn masks, and why masks are so implicit in our human psyche, because it's kind of like, you are, like you said before when you were on the last pod, that behind that mask you can speak the great truth, because you haven't got no ego.
Yeah.
Does knowledge behind the person who gives it, or the person behind the knowledge, does that really even matter? As long as you have the knowledge?
Exactly.
That obviously doesn't mean that the end justifies the means to obtaining that knowledge, but it's not a matter of the messenger. You don't shoot the messenger. It's the knowledge. That's the truth, and that's what that's what we're all searching for, and we're all trying to find the different ways.
Do you know what, Ryan? They do shoot the messenger, man. That's the problem.
They do. Oh, they love that shit. Everybody, that's all it is. That's all. I grew up in a suburban American town, and our learning American history here is literally just names, dates, places, and there's little to no feeling behind that emotion. You have to go out and find your own history books, and that's what they do. Is they put a name to it and they say this person was the problem, and it's like, you know what, I'm a little bit smarter than that. I know that one person isn't the fucking problem. There is a lot more to it than just one person. There's 8 billion people in the world. There's a lot more than just that one person. So, and yeah, that's what it is, though. They do shoot the messenger. They always shoot the messenger. They love doing that.
But it's just, it's what I love about what you're saying is that what you're just saying then, Ryan, is that you've grown up in some small place in the States. The boys, man, I can't even lads, describe Richmond to the world. Go on, just describe how pokey Richmond is, man.
Richmond is a Georgian market town in Richmond. It's in North Yorkshire. It's just got a lot of character. It's a cobble market town. There's a castle, something you'd imagine that sort of medieval sort of time. It's got a lot of history. It's got a lot of character to it. And
it's home, man. It's where the heart is.
For us, it's home, yeah.
But the point I'm raising is that out of this small little place, it's got so many bands and so many. The creative energy in this small little town is unreal. Which is what we maybe say. Maybe you're all tapping into some sort of morphic resonance. I don't know.
Yeah, man.
Fifth dimension, man. It's 5D, man. It's fucking the awakening of the consciousness, man. It's fucking. I mean, it's infectious. It's infectious.
I'm the first one to kind of get down on the area where I come from, and as far as like even musical acts that come through here, I have a couple groups that I like that are from. They're about I think like an hour and a half, 2 hours away in Columbus, and they will do a U.S. tour, and they will not come through my area. And I live near Toledo, which is a fairly big city, in the whole spectrum of the states. But even local acts, considerably local acts that I know, will not come through my area. And I will be the first one to talk bad about my area, but nobody has really proven me wrong on a lot of the ideas that I've had about this place. And I know Tim was telling me about the Demons playing in Bristol and having to drive all that way, and not getting paid, not getting the money, not really seeing anything up front except for driving all that way doing the show, which for people like us that's more than enough. And around here, I remember I haven't done a show in a long time, but I remember when I did them, basically I or whoever was playing that night, they were in charge of advertising. They were basically in charge of promoting. They were in charge of getting people into the bar because that's what the bar wanted. They wanted the bar money. And, the guy who even got me into the last concert I did, the guy who got me into it wasn't even there. The promoter, I never saw a dime from any concert that I ever did. And, I like to think that it is just my area, and the world is different. But I don't know. I hear stories. I've heard another likely story from St. Louis, where it's kind of the same way, where almost a pay-to-play situation, where you almost have to pay a club to go in and play, which to me is absurd.
Yeah, it's that stuff, man. Like we were getting like emails like this year from like companies to like pay them to get onto like some festivals and shit like that, and it's man, it's exploiting artists basically.
Yeah. And to see somebody like you guys, like as far as if I was going to do a concert nowadays, I've always thought I'm working on an album now, and the way that I would do it live would be very theatrical. It would be very futuristic, very space induced, and almost like a light show and a lot of stuff going on, and something that was different and completely mind-blowing. I just watched a video of you guys at a festival actually this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw you had the upright bass player out there. You got Dan Demon over there, on the playing too. And to see something like that go out, and man, that's mind-blowing. Somebody goes out there, 4-man group, upright bass player, the Beat Demon, all that's playing. That's amazing to see, something like that. My first concert, I remember the guy who opened for me had his CD playing in the background with the lyrics, and he wasn't even rapping. He wasn't even saying anything. He was just kind of saying, he was doing call and response the whole time to the crowd. He even did his phone number call and response to the crowd. He starts throwing out T-shirts. It was the most ridiculous thing I'd ever seen, and it was my first concert, and I was following this guy. The last concert I did, I followed a mariachi band, which was fuck yes, Tim. That's exactly. Seriously. No, I show up at this place, and I'm eating with my friend's parents, and I'm thinking we're playing at a bar across the street. This mariachi band, these 3 guys are probably 70 to 80 years old. They're on stage, and nobody's done a mic check yet, so they're all just kind of standing there staring into nothing. And all of a sudden, you'd get a hot mic, and everyone would plug their ears and be like, what the hell was that? And then that would pass. after about 20 minutes, they start playing, and I said to my friend, I'm like, so, like, when are we going across the street and playing? He's like, no, dude, we're on after these guys. And it was a straight, Mexican mariachi band, and I was like, dude, how am, as a rap artist, am I gonna follow a mariachi band? Like, how do I get the audience on my side? Because at that point, they're gonna be like, who are you?
Well,
That's a funny one.
I mean, on a similar note, man, it wasn't that long ago that the Seething team, I told you about this, Ryan, they had to go into a spoken word tent and follow something. Oh, wow, that night, what was that like, lads? I mean, it's about following a person. Man.
I thought, you know what, Tim, I thought it was quite good. I mean, it was strange, like, but, yeah, I mean, in the spoken word tent, I mean, essentially what we're doing is spoken word. That's how we managed to get in on that stage. But
we weren't up for take your shoes off, sit down on the floor.
It was a carpeted tent, carpet in the tent. It was take your shoes off, sit down. All these hippies sat at the back, orange split, bonged out the head. Everyone's fucking stoned. And then we had to.
I would have been stoned. I would have loved that shit. That would have been the great.
But we went in to bring the ruckus. We were like headlining this tent or something, and we just wanted to bring the ruckus, and like, yeah, it was an interesting experience.
I think it's, to sum it up, Tim, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me.
Yeah, man.
No, as well, a serious question. Did you guys? I'm someone who actually I don't want to say I started as spoken word, but I did a lot of spoken word. I used to do open mics and all that sort of thing, and when I heard you guys, it kind of reminded me a lot of that. Did you start with that, or did you ever go into, any open mics and just, spit poetry, or?
Funny enough, no, mate. Like, nah. I've been writing for years, mate. Absolutely years. But like,
originally on guitars and keyboards, just like songwriting. Basically, it's all sort of been songwriting.
You mate, I've always wrote like pages and that.
Yeah.
And
okay, yeah.
And to be honest, like in a way, that's what got me into playing music. Was okay. I've wrote a page of words. How do I? What do I do now? I'll pick up an instrument. I'll put fucking 3 chords down and just say these words, and like that.
Express yourself.
So yeah, that's how I'd use music as a way to express the words, basically. But the words were always that was the focal point as far as I was concerned.
Well, I mean, it seemed like to me like when I did it, I never have you ever heard of the rapper Idea?
Yeah. Idea's great.
Yeah, one of my friends told me he saw an interview with Idea where Idea said something about he had played. One of the things he regretted was sometimes playing the image of a rapper or playing the part of a rapper. And one of the things I never was able to do was play the image of anything or play the part of anything because I was too self-conscious. So if I was trying to do something like you guys and be really open-hearted and I felt like I was like, just really trying to tug at somebody's heartstrings like right away and just trying to get at them. And when I did this, so a lot of the things I do now, like I don't even have to really try. Like I can, if I would have seen, you guys had an open mic, that would have been, or in the spoken word tent, like that would have just been awesome because that, for me, that's when I can just shine because I'll just go up there and really not care and really give it my all and just speak the truth and speak everything that I can and
right on. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you from something from that night, man. We definitely shook that tent up.
Yeah. I'm sure it was smelling pretty funky after you got through there.
Man, it was. We had one of the girls come up to support. She put the mask on. She was walking around the crowd. Man, we stirred up a bit of a good party that night, man.
Yeah, definitely, mate.
That's what it's about. Life is people, right?
Life is people.
Hey guys, I gotta tap out. So it's good seeing you all this Sunday, and we'll see you again soon. I hope.
Sound, Rich. Nice to see you, buddy.
Nice to see you, mate.
Yep, nice talking to you, Rich.
Right, bye.
Cool, that's it.
I might just go get a beer.
Yeah.
2 seconds, boy.
So, man, so talking about the every step thing, boys, the fire sort of thing. I love what Rich was saying about the. I was going to talk to you about that anyway. Let's go. But man, this is the.
Oh, mate, that looks absolutely mint. Mate, that's fucking class.
It's
That's
getting there, man.
That is absolutely mint. That's absolutely fucking mint. You're gonna show us that again in a minute when his eyes just went to get a beer, but like show them that.
No, let's not show him and let him make it watch it. Let's watch it back on YouTube.
Right, yeah. Buy with me, Tim. Buy with me.
Let him buy a bootleg T-shirt on eBay.
Exactly.
Oh, mate, that looks absolutely unreal, though, mate. That looks absolutely unreal. Hey, mate, you just missed this picture, right? You'll not get a chance to see it again, mate. That's it. But Tim's been working on this picture, and I'll tell you what, it's masks and fire. Oh, shit, there you go.
Beautiful, mate.
Look at that.
Yes, mate. Nah, that's phenomenal.
That's fucking mint.
Now, mate, this ties into because of I was trying to explain to Ryan in an email the other day about the concept of Guy Fawkes. What a mad concept that is.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
We have V for Vendetta over here. Okay, we know it all.
You think you know it all.
No, what was it? No, the worst thing is when the whole thing with Scotland that's happening recently. The first actual news piece that I saw about that was on Facebook, and it said something like, "Groundskeeper Willie is in support of Scottish emancipation," and I'm just like, I'm crying inside. I'm laughing out loud. I'm like, man, you gotta be fucking kidding me! Like this is. Like groundskeeper, like you're gonna bring up a Simpsons character, like a Simpsons character, like that's how you have to relate to people like me and the American public is like, oh, a Simpsons character is gonna tell you how it is. Like, oh, well, thank God.
The one you want to check out, go check out YouTube. It's basically just put in Darth Vader Glasgow.
Yeah.
Mate, it's brilliant. What some guys, because in Glasgow city centre you can hire a rickshaw bike. So what they've done is, because the last sort of 2 weeks, all your politicians started coming up and promising this, that, and the other. So they landed from the station, were doing their, oh look, we can walk amongst the people, to walk to their conference centre. And this guy got on a rickshaw, and he's got on his mobile phone, you know, and he's playing that on his loudspeaker right, literally 2 or 3 foot away from where the politicians are walking, and he's going in the front. I'm like, forgive my accent, but I'll have to try it because it's not really good coming from my accent. He goes, Glasgow, welcome your imperial masters. Glasgow, your imperial masters have arrived. Beware. He does it for about 5 minutes, and then just follow. That is brilliant, man. Fuck groundskeeper Willie, man. I mean, that's welcome your imperial masters. Oh man, but
Fucking crazy, man.
Man, unbelievable, eh? Unbelievable. So boys, tell us about your gig today, anyway, because you've been playing Russell down there. Tell us about how that goes.
Yeah, down in Lancashire, man. Like, yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, like, we haven't been practicing as much as we wanted to recently, so
it wasn't as tight, but it went down well, mate.
I think
good response, lovely people,
good people. Yeah, great place, and yeah, just very.
It was quite a strange one because it was outside of a museum, and it was like it was quite early on, so it was quite sort of family sort of thing. It was like a food.
It's to celebrate the end of harvest, the summer harvest, and like, yeah, it's basically it was basically just a little food festival, and then the fella Paul, who writes for a decent sort of blog, who did a review of our record, he he lives there and he reached out to us because he wanted to get some live music going because he's very passionate about it. He writes a lot of stuff about music and
it was great.
Yeah, he reached out to us and he'd done us a review and that's when we were like, yeah, we'll come down, man, no bother. And like, yeah, there's a couple of other bands on the bill and that, and it was good. It was good, man. It was good.
Did you play in, like Illusions or?
No, none of the tunes we did do with George. We couldn't do, but we did.
We did a couple a cappella, so a couple spoken word pieces.
Yeah,
we did amputated spoken word, and
that'd be cool.
And then I did one which isn't released, which is down as a demo at the moment called Back to the Water. Yeah. So I did that. And yeah, man, it's quite nice because we started doing that recently, just doing more, and I think it's quite nice for the audience just to like. Just to hear it with being that bare, that's stripped down, that it's just the words, you know what I mean? Like you were saying before, Ryan, just like, there's a sort of nakedness to it, but it's like, it's quite fun as well. And without the beat, it's like, you can twist and turn these words and shit however the fuck you feel right then, which I quite like.
It's you and the silence, and
yeah.
You can hear yourself. You can hear every word in that silence, and you can hear, every little flare of vibrato or just anything. And
powerful, man. It really is powerful.
Oh, it really is, and at the same time, like, I mean, not to put anybody down, but at the same time, like, a lot of time you have to sit through, some bullshit. I did a contest one time, like a spoken word contest, and it was just so, everybody was so calculated, and they knew everything they were going to do, and everything had to be perfect, and everything was so right, and everything was so on point, and it took the soul out of it. It took the heart out of it. Like, like I hear you guys, and it's not about like doing the 16 bars or doing everything right, or it's about capturing that moment and really trying to do it the best you can. And when I hear a lot of the Ceiling Demon songs on Dual Sides and on the first EP, that's what I hear. I hear that emotion. I hear that, that moment that it had to be in, and not, somebody's idea of perfection or what a verse is supposed to sound like, or, a rhyme scheme that's supposed to be this way, or, which a lot of, for me, the mainstream rap and the mainstream the way it is today, it is very calculated. It's very cold to me. And, it's verse, chorus, 16 bars, 8 bars, 8 bars, chorus. You have to worry about shit like that, like bars and verse and chords and bridge. And at a certain point, it's just a matter of who gives a shit. Like, if I don't have a chorus, I'm not gonna put a chorus in. If I don't have a verse, we'll do whatever. We'll do a spoken word. If I don't have a bridge, I don't have a bridge. Whatever. You have to say something, you say it. You don't have to, perfect it to get it out. It's not that hard to just speak from the heart and be who you are.
Damn right, mate. Damn right. Yeah. I mean, like, no.
No, absolutely not. No ceilings. No. Yeah, you do. If you do a spoken word, like, you don't have to do it the way you did it on a track or the way you have it in your head. You just it's not a rehearsal type thing. You wrote that down in a feeling and emotion. Try to capture that feeling and emotion every single time that you can, and it's going to make you better. It's going to make what you're doing better. It's going to make the things you are going to do better. It's it's learning, growing, evolving. You will do it.
Damn right.
Every step, I'm on.
Every step, yes.
Exactly, every step, and I do remember that, and that is ingrained in my mind. So thank you guys for that.
Well,
I mean, it's one of the things that people may or may not be aware of you boys at the moment. I don't know how much you want to speak or not speak about, but you have a very unique style, because obviously you two write your own songs, but equally a big element of the band, which is a weird thing about it, because I've seen you boys I think 8 or 9 times, and I don't think I've ever had the same people on the stage twice in a row. I think because there's always the point I'm making is that you're working under sort of strange conditions at the moment because you've got people of member of your band in another country, and I mean how I was just how does that work on a day-to-day basis? I mean, if you write a lyric, does will you bounce that idea off George, or does he come back to you, or how does that creative process work?
I'm just going to get a shower. You alright, mate? You alright, lads?
Sorry, we just got cut off there, Tim. Could you repeat what you just said?
I was just saying that. I mean, that whether people are aware or not, but obviously with George being in a different part of the world, and how you write lyrics, and it's kind of there's no hierarchy in the band as it is. I mean, how does that creative process work right now? Will George be sending you stuff and then you write on that, or just
how we made the album Dual Sides was, we were in Leeds at the time. He was in London or Birmingham, so we weren't in the same place. But we managed to.
That's how we were demoing.
That's how we got the skeleton down. I mean, it's not how we made the album. It's how we got the structure down, and it's how we got the foundation and the skeleton. How we then went into a studio to record it. That's because we wanted it to be professional sound, as the best of it as it could possibly sound. Like, I mean, like to the highest quality as any fucking major label, anything like that. Just put our soul into it. And George was doing an internship in an actual studio in London at the time, and he managed to get things like
he got like an EP mastered down there.
He got an EP mastered down there, and then when we were recording that, and he got that mastered, you could hear like how much more clearer if you get someone with that ear for that sort. It's someone who's got the skill to like master and mix and stuff like that. It changes songs, but it brings out elements that you've tried to capture even more. It's that polish, and it's good to have that sort of stuff. But we share things on the internet now. You know what I mean? Like we're going to work on this video with Ryan, and I mean, it's just all over all 5 emails and stuff, man. Like you can work on anything anyway. There's a way around it. It's all just connecting, man. It's like sonar. It's like fucking dolphins in the ocean, and it's like sonar, man. Like, I mean, that's why we're all here. That's why we've all been brought here now, and we're chatting, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, for something like Every Step is bringing me up. Like, did he send you the beat for that, or did you guys all like kind of hear the original together and then sample it from there, or did you come up with the idea and go to him? Like, how did that?
We showed George the Arthur Russell song.
Yeah, I sent George the Arthur Russell.
This is how we walk on the moon, and
he sort of got the hook that is the chorus.
He said that in a little bit, didn't he?
It's a little bit, and yeah, I was liking the sound of it, man, and it's a beautiful thing, man. It's like we do that quite a lot. I'll send George tracks, and that my craft isn't really in making beats, but I send a song which I think George will feel, and if he finds a bit resonates with him, he cuts it up and makes a beat. I'm like, fucking nice, mate. Nice.
Yeah.
It's a big match, but it's a great one, man. Every Step, like we wrote, I think George put that together, like, and we just wrote the lyrics to that one, I believe.
Yeah, we demoed it, didn't we? First.
Yeah, demoed. Because I mean, there's times when we will, write to the bench and songs where I'll just have writing. I'll just have a page in a book that's there, and I'll make it mold to the beat, if you know what I mean, or I'll try and put that to the beat. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I gotcha.
Well, this song is a perfect example of what you just stated at, because man, I love the remix that Fold have done. I'm looking forward to speaking to them next week, because that their remix is great. They've taken that song and changed it completely. And here we all are, you know, all us random people, all just building on this great piece of work. We're all putting our piece in, and it's going to make the whole thing a better thing than it ever started off as.
Hopefully, yeah.
No, hopefully, young man. We scared them off, Ryan, man.
Hopefully.
It's good. Joe, I saw Ryan the other day now. I was gonna say,
Hello, mate.
hello?
Sorry, lads. We keep
Getting cut off. Sorry, mate. Sorry, mate.
Yorkshire.
Gonna be independent Yorkshire next to him.
Oh, wait for the vote on that, mate. That'll go straight through that. 99 to 1 or something.
We're just saying though, it's like I was just saying that every step the remix is a perfect example of what we've been talking about tonight. How it started off as what we were just talking about, a little seed, and how this has grown, and now look at this, man, and look at what we're all building on that one idea that's bigger than it ever started off. You could have never imagined when you wrote that song that we'd all be sitting here, and that's a great thing, because who knows what it's going to be like in 5 years' time, how much this seed's going to grow.
Yeah, man. It's fucking remarkable, isn't it?
I'm really excited by the remix. I mean, I think it's an awesome tune, and you were saying before we went live that you're hoping to sort of put it in line with some sort of charity, sort of, with actually a message behind it. I mean, do you want to open up and tell us more?
Yeah. Well, there's a charity that called Campaign Against Living Miserably Calm, which they're like a UK company, and it's sort of focusing on like suicide, particularly in males, and how that's been a growing number in recent years, and it's a bit like, in terms of like Samaritans, like they've got like a line and that which you can call, and just trying to share the awareness of it, and that really, and
it's all about like working with charities like mental health. You've got to alleviate the stigma surrounding.
Yeah,
there's stuff like depression, suicide, these things to suppress them, particularly in our country, in Britain. I mean, I assume it's like that in most of the Western world, and that you feel suppressed. Being a lad in Britain, you don't talk about your emotions. I mean, you go down the pub, you drink a fucking couple of pints, and you let out steam that way. But I mean, you've got troubles and things brew, and it gets dark and stuff. It's not generally in our mindset, which is why that's for us. That's why we sort of gave birth to this project, because we'd lost people, and it was just a way to express. And we did it just for the love and to represent the people who we've lost or whatever. And yeah, man, it's a big
man. So Karma, we support them. They're a great charity, and so we're planning on releasing this remix on the 5th of November. It's sort of tied to qualify it.
Doing a launch gig, and
yeah, we've emailed Cam. We're waiting to hear back from them, but we intend to hopefully do a launch gig and donate that money to them.
I think it's perfect for what we were talking about tonight, because this is, man, like you just said, man, being a male is one of the hardest things. I think it's one of the biggest things that's not talked about in this country, is that we as males we're not told to express ourselves. And I think
let me say any country. I'm gonna say any country.
Okay, yeah, sorry, yeah, any country.
I mean, you're supposed to play the male dominant role, the emotionally strong, the unattached, the cold, I mean, that's the world over.
But it's more the ability of being able to speak to each other, and I think this is almost perfect what we're doing now. That's why that's why I wanted to call this podcast Life is People, because it's this ability to talk that you suddenly realise, wait a minute, anything I may be feeling, someone else is going to feel it. Someone else has already been there. There's no, any demon you may confront, someone else has already met that demon, man, and they will tell you a way to destroy him.
Yeah, what I.
Yes, man.
knowledge.
And that's why I think it's really, that's why I think it's really good that that single is on the back of what we're doing, because like you're saying, what you want to do with Calm, because I think it's one of the biggest areas in our life we don't talk about that needs to be talked about. Especially amongst us. We're a group of lads, man. Do you know what I mean? That's why I've got no shame to sit and say, like I said, I cried this week when I listened to Lord, I Must Be Strong. I cried like a baby. And there you go, I'm going on YouTube and saying that. And I'm not ashamed of that, because that's real. That's being emotional, and that's saying I'm a human being. Those chords affected me, which inside my mind set some chemicals off, which made me cry. And do you know what? I felt a hell of a lot better after I fucking finished it.
Nice one, mate. That's fucking touching, man. Yeah, I mean, like the music that speaks to me, the most. It touches on those emotions, man. At times, and a certain song in a time and a place, it just fucking hits you, man.
Man, I've told you boys before, I'm tired of losing. I've lived long enough, and I've lost too many friends that have just died because they've never been able to speak what's in their heart. And we've got to stop this, man. We have. It's just because they're human beings, man. It's lost potential.
Yeah, I know. I've said, I don't do a whole lot of things like for myself or because of what my ideas of cool or what my ideas of right. But at the same time, I do live for other people, and I want to see everybody happy, and I want to be happy around them. And I know that what I'm doing, I'm not just doing for myself, but I'm doing for somebody who might be in my position, or who might have been in my position, or somebody who will understand that things are so much more real than a lot of people understand. And life is people, and those connections are real, and it's very hard to for some people to cope with all those the political ties, the world, the connections, the bullshit we have to go through. And I'm not alone. I know that, and want to make it try to be out there too, that those people are not alone as well, and we are all together in our own madness.
All right, yeah.
like you said about ideas, right, man? We're just floating around in a big bubble of everything.
Out in space, mate. Floating in space.
Yep. Well, the truth lies between the perception of dreams and the illusion of reality. So, if you want to find truth, you're only going to find it in, your dreams and your hopes and your aspirations, and also what you believe to be, the society and the world that we live in. So if you want to find, some sort of truth, you're going to pretty much have to play the game in the world that you live in. And some people choose to play a lot more games than other people, and that's just that's the world. That's how it's going to be. And not everybody obviously thinks of us. Not everybody is going out there and saying things to say them, and finding creative ways to say things and not get paid for it. There's a lot of people that would just look at us, managers or promoters, and just be like, you guys are stupid, you're not getting paid. And we would just look at them and say, what, you're stupid because you are getting paid, because you are selling out. You are selling your soul. You are turning against everything that you're supposed to stand for and that you're supposed to believe in. And, we don't do that. And yeah, we suffer for it. Yeah, we go through it. But what other choice do we have? We're not going to sell out.
No.
We're not gonna give up our intentions or try to sugarcoat anything that we have to say just to make some sort of hit record that might get us, a few more views on YouTube or whatever. We're not people like that. That's a different world. That's something that we don't play a part of.
Well, I don't know. Maybe the Ceiling Demons will be hi, we're the Ceiling Demons, and we're advertising Ribena. You never know.
Ceiling Demons for ham. Do you like ham?
I love. Buy my ham.
Just once a year, Ceiling Demons ham. Don't forget about ham. Ham's there. Every step is building up ham. But they think that stuff like that sells more things, and it's just, I mean, yeah, it might generate you some more money, but what do they do with that money? They put it in more advertising, more, belligerent, whatever, and yeah, it's debauchery. I'm not a part of it.
Man, as you said before, man, it's like Bill Hicks used to say, man, you're selling your soul, man. Do you know what I mean? Because you're fixing yourself to a product that you may never like, just because you've got a little bit of dollar to help you along the way. Rubbish.
They end up selling the same product for years and years and years and years and years, and not switching it up, not doing anything different, not ever, not going out of the box, not trying, different things. As a human being, we all grow up with that idea of go out and see the world, go out and try new things, go out and do this. But then, you try to go out and do new things, and you find that everything's the same everywhere you go, and it's all set up the exact same way. And it might be shaped a little bit differently, but it's not as unique as it's made out to be. I mean, does that make any sense?
No, it makes total sense. Total sense.
Okay.
I mean, it's one of the it is kind of ties to the song of where the whole Life is People comes from. It's life is a cosmic concerto. Isn't that right, that Si?
Yeah, man, for real, mate, for real. It's powerful song, that, and that's why I love the fact that you've chosen to name this Life is People, man, because I think it's very, very resonant.
It's great. I love it. Yeah.
It is what you just Ryan was just saying, or we were both just saying. That is the essence of life, isn't it? Life is people.
Yeah, I mean, to finish what I was saying, that is what the uniqueness is to me. It's not going out and doing things. It's not going out to places. It's not going out and finding a beach in the Bahamas or some resort or something like that. It's the people that you do it with. It's that experience that between one person and another that is extremely unique, because you can go to that beach alone, you can go to that beach with somebody else, you can go hiking with whoever you want, you can it's all places, and people aren't places, people are people, and that unique experience that we share with each other is just unfathomable when it comes to trying to express it in words, and it can be crushing to the wrong people.
Yeah,
especially when you think that when you do go back to places by yourself, a lot of places, all you'll do is you'll remember when you were there with the person that you got memory of. I mean,
yeah, you know it going into it. You know it, before you go there that we used to go there. It's not like it's. Yeah, it's like I was saying earlier about the demon and the lurking. It is that lurking of like, what, I wanted to do this, but at the same time I wanted to do event kind of like, cancels itself out, because you're going to be thinking about how much more fun you would have had with said person. It's people. Life is people. It's not places, things, superficial objects, whatever. It's life,
Damn right, man.
Well, it is. It's what I'm saying. It's do you know what I mean? We do what we do, and we hope that at the end of the day that we're just here tomorrow, we're here the next day, the day after that. And beyond that, everything else is just fragile, isn't it?
Really is, man.
So what I was going to say to you while you're there, Si, you've got talk to us about tell the world about next weekend, man. The Amsterdam gig.
Well, this time next weekend, Tim, we'll be coming back from Amsterdam. Because next Saturday, Demons in the Dam, man. So yeah, man, we're going over. Is it Frank Ritz? Rick? That's the name of the venue?
Yeah, Van Rijks or something, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's in middle of Amsterdam, so we're coming for you.
and after what gigs you got coming up after? I know you've got sort of some planned up.
Well, we've had this one today. Next weekend we're at the Amsterdam, and then the following weekend we're in Darlington for Oxjam Darlow. playing at a venue called Athlon. So that's really close to Richmond, where we are. So hoping to have a few demons on board for that, like, and it should be good fun. It should be a lot of fun. And then after that, we're trying to book some more shows at the moment, but we've got one booked at the end of November at the 360 Club in Leeds. That should be a really fun one as well.
Perfect. And then obviously we've got, well, hopefully we're hoping for November to get every Steppies out on the Black Dogs.
Get a launch gig down for that. So that's in the process at the moment. That's something I'm working on.
I'm gonna bust my ass.
And I mean, the other one I was going to say to you, lads. I mean, just for people, you know, I'm often sort of asked on Twitter and stuff like this. I mean, are you planning to put any kind of albums out or EPs out? What's the sort of you're thinking on that line?
At the moment, something is definitely fucking brewing, man. You know that. Definitely fucking brewing, but
I like hearing that.
As what that is and when that is, like, I can't tell you at the moment, man. I really don't know. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely stuff we've been working on, and we're hopefully we'll get more of an idea in these next few sort of weeks as to what this release will be. But yeah, the ball's rolling for it, and we're constantly writing stuff and that. I was saying to you earlier on, Tim, I just did I sent my mate a verse, and he's just put it up on a song he was making. It's called The Wig Head, and it's called Dark Days, the track. So if you get a chance to have a listen to it, it'll be great to hear your thoughts on it. Like, but yeah, maybe we can try and do some more collabs and stuff. In the meantime, the world's it's an open book, man.
Well, exactly, man. I mean, as we all know, man. I mean, it's just a case of telling people. I mean, do you know what I mean? I've always said that when I put it out openly now, man. I'll have anybody on this place. If they want to come along, and anyone wants anything to come along, get them along, man. And as I said, it's what I want to build, man. It's what not I want to build or you want to build. It's what is necessary. We need a place like this, and it's open. There's no restrictions on this thing, man. Come along, you know.
Yeah, man. Well, I can speak to my mate Wigard, and like, I'm sure he'd be interested in it because he is into all these things and that. You wouldn't have to know. Yeah. So I'll have to have a word with it. I'll put you in touch with him, Tim, if you want.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
He's just had one of his tracks played on BBC Tees the other day. So he's really happy about that. So he's just started making some beats and that. So yeah, it's nice to see. Like you say, man. It's mental the amount of creative people in Richmond. Like, I was out just last night with Nico Cara, and he was he's doing well at the moment as well. He just did a gig down in Hyde Park in London at this BBC Two festival, like to loads of people, and we're sort of working on something with him at the moment as well. So yeah, man, there's loads of things happening, man. It's just trying to get the blueprint down for things, isn't it?
Cool, man. So basically, if anyone's, I know that there's a few people, I don't know if they're going to be watching this week, but there are a few coders I know in Amsterdam, so don't feel afraid to go and talk to these boys, because they're not scary, trust me. They're not scary. The Yorkshire thing is just a bluff, don't worry about it.
It's sorry, mate. I mean, you help me find my guns.
That was a minute, lads.
So basically, lads, I'm gonna wrap this up, and we can go talk after it. We can have we can have a chat before you go. But so you got next week the in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Ryan, is there any particular kind of parting questions you want to say to the boys?
No. I'm a million miles away right now, but
He's in
no,
Matt
I'm ready.
Damon.
I'm ready for the chat afterwards. Yeah, you want some Matt Damon?
Put some Matt Damon on, man. Here we go.
I gotta keep the headphones on. No, I told Tim, when you guys get like a Saturday morning type cartoon, I get to be. I'm kind of like the Scooby Doo that like follows you around, like I'm Matt Damon, and then you guys just chime in like, oh, Matt Damon.
Jokes, man.
Brilliant, man.
That's just no. I just for some reason I did see like I had this image of like the Ceiling Demons having like a Saturday morning type cartoon like going around helping people. And they had to have the one sidekick who was just kind of like, oh, you guys.
I'd love to have like my own game as well, like Ceiling Demons, fucking 16-bit, like a SNES or a Super Nintendo or like a Sega sort of game. Something like that. That'd be awesome.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome. We could get like a Sega game going.
That would be
we have two versions. We have the kids version, and then we have the dark version.
yeah, like the red. Put dual sides out the game.
Yeah. Put an 8-bit version of the album on it and that.
Yeah. No, man. Every song is a level in the game, man. So you got to progress through like every tune, so you get to like track 10.
Yeah, man. At the end, you fight yourself. Sounds like an idea from Network 99, mate.
We're just chucking these seeds out tonight, man. We're just chucking them. Go and build them, people.
I just see the tagline of "Nobody ever wins."
All right.
Well, I'm gonna call this a night tonight. So from Scotland, I'm gonna say good night and good night, Ryan.
Yeah, in Ohio, it's only 3:45, so yeah, I'm gonna go get dinner, I guess.
Well, bonus TARDIS to you, my friend, and to down the side, man.
It's been a pleasure speaking to you both.
It's been great speaking.
It's been amazing talking to all you guys. Yeah.
Let's sort out another one.
Yeah, definitely. And just to let you know, next week the Folder coming on, and we're going to talk a lot about the Every Step remix. So next week's going to be a good one as well, because that's another great band from Leeds.
Yeah, it would be very cool.
And I would definitely recommend everybody go and check out Fold, because some of their tunes, man, are unbelievable.
Salvation EP, man.
Yeah, exactly. Salvation EP. Yeah, there you go. That's the one.
Fucking awesome.
Salvation EP.
Yeah, man. Fold and a guy called Mr. G. It's on Bandcamp and that. Yeah, really great band, man. Really great band. Really feeling what they're doing. Yeah.
And then next week on. So anyway, boys. So definitely come back on anytime you like, and just hang in there, and we'll speak offline. Yeah. But good night from myself, and good night from us all. Life is people, people.
Life is people.
Life is people.